Right now on ABC 10 News at 4 o'clock, the questions that remain as we learn more about the deadly wrong-way crash that killed two San Diego police detectives. 2 arrests in the road rage shooting that took a 6-year-old boy's life, the latest on the investigation. And the pressure is on for San Diego restaurant owners with the state's reopening just days away, the incentives being offered, and how some restaurant owners are trying to hire people away while on the job.
ABC 10 News at 4 starts now.
Serious questions remain tonight about the wrong-way driver who was killed in Friday's collision that also took the lives of 2 San Diego police detectives. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kimberly Hunt. ABC 10 News reporter Jennifer Kastner is joining us now live at police headquarters downtown. And Jennifer, you spoke to the husband of that wrong-way driver.
Kimberly, that's right. Her name has not been released by the medical examiner's office, but earlier today I spoke over the phone with a man who said that he was her husband and they had been married for 35 years and he was simply devastated by what happened. Let's go to our video now. It's been 4 days since the married couple, both detectives, lost their lives in this fiery crash in San Ysidro. ABC 10 News viewer Chris Rios shared dash cam video from Friday morning showing when he drifted away from his lane on the 5 South by Dairy Mart Road to avoid colliding with the silver Civic, being driven the wrong way northbound by a female driver. Seconds later, the Civic slammed into the car that the married detectives were riding in, killing the 2 of them and the woman in the Civic. Rios said that he was going about 75 miles per hour and the Civic was doing at least 100. Now, earlier today, the medical examiner's office told me that the wrong-way driver's identity is still under seal by the San Diego Police Department. This past weekend, hundreds of people gathered to remember fallen officers Ryan Park and wife Jamie Huntley, who met in the police academy and were even promoted together a few years ago. Chief David Nislight also spoke to the crowd.
Just 2 very amazing people that had nothing but just an amazing life, careers, everything ahead of them. Just such special people to be lost so soon is beyond tragic.
And CHP is in charge of this investigation. It's still unknown whether drugs or alcohol played a factor. Reporting live from downtown tonight, Jennifer Kastner, ABC 10 News.
Jennifer, thank you. And the state has been trying to avert wrong-way crashes for years. Coming up at 5 o'clock, our Team 10 investigators look at what's being done and whether their efforts have had any effects. Sky 10 right now is over a fire on Mass Boulevard. It's just east of the 52 in Santee. There is some sort of heavy equipment that has caught fire. It appears to be in the landfill. It is pumping out a lot of smoke. People can see it there in the area, but crews seem to have a good handle on it, and fire crews expect to be on the scene there for the next few hours. Weeks of searching come to an end as investigators say they've arrested 2 people for the road rage shooting that killed a 6-year-old boy in Orange County. Police took Marcus Erez and Win Lee into custody this weekend after receiving hundreds of tips from the public. They face charges in the death of Aiden Leos. His mom was driving him to kindergarten when the shooting happened. Investigators believe that it was Erez who fired the shot. The Orange County District Attorney addressed the loss of Aiden's life today.
And today we have a mom who just within hours, a mother and father, a sister and brother who buried this little boy.
The suspects will face a judge in court tomorrow. One of the men who pleaded guilty for his role in the charity fraud scheme involving the former rabbi of the Chabad of Poway was sentenced to 15 months in prison today. Bruce Baker pleaded guilty to his involvement. Former Rabbi Israel Goldstein admitted that he was involved in the elaborate tax fraud scheme that went on for several years. Investigators say donors such as Baker would make large contributions to the Chabad of Poway, and Goldstein would write up receipts for the donors to report to the IRS and receive a tax deduction. Investigators say Goldstein would keep 10% and return 90% back to the donor. The U.S. has recovered millions of dollars paid in ransom to the Colonial Pipeline hackers. Well, people briefed on the matter say the operation was led by the FBI in cooperation with Colonial Pipeline. The company's chief executive says it paid more than $4 million in the ransom demand, but it took steps to help investigators track the payment to a cryptocurrency wallet used by the hackers.
For the first time in 18 years, the FDA approved a new treatment for Alzheimer's. It's called aducanumab. The drug is meant for patients with mild cognitive impairment. It aims to slow down the progression of Alzheimer's, not just treat symptoms. Now, we spoke with the Alzheimer's Association before the approval of the drug, and scientific experts say the drug does offer new hope.
For those individuals that are eligible for this treatment, this drug could mean more quality time for their families, for them to enjoy with their families and with life and doing things they want to do.
Now that it is approved, the Alzheimer's Association says it will do everything in its power to ensure access to this drug. An extra $300 a week in federal unemployment payments will end starting this week in a handful of states. Now you take a look at the one shaded in orange right here. A total of 25 plan on ending the extra payments by mid-July. Now those are shaded in yellow. The rest of states are paying out through early September. State leaders have pulled benefits citing worker shortages. Now, summer school enrollment numbers are starting to come in, and as expected, they are much higher than in years past. Nationally, it's too early to tell how many children are going. In 2019, almost 3.5 million kids attended summer school, but it's clear that families are taking advantage because of pandemic learning loss. Now, one example, in Montgomery, Alabama, more than 12,000 of the school system's 28,000 students are enrolled in summer school. Typically, they only have about 2,500 kids. A new type of COVID vaccine could offer more protection and easier storage. The shot from Novavax could be available by the end of this summer. Now, known as the protein subunit vaccine, it differs from others on the market because it already contains the spike protein from the virus. The others leave it up to our body to mimic it for defense. Now, the vaccine also would not need special refrigeration. Vice President Kamala Harris is in Guatemala City today for her first international trip in office. During her 2 days abroad, she will be working to strengthen ties with Guatemala and Mexico. She'll be looking to tackle long-standing problems like violence and poverty as a way to improve the number of migrants coming into the United States. Harris will also be announcing the U.S. will share its vaccine supply with the countries. One woman is taking her own experience as a rideshare driver to make sure future rides are safer.
The stories that I was hearing, they were terrible, of women being assaulted, harassed, just dealing with creepy drivers.
How she's creating a service focused on women and the LGBTQ+ community.
A head-on crash in Spring Valley sends 3 adults and a young child to the hospital. All of them are expected to be okay. But as ABC 10 News reporter Natay Holmes shares, neighbors are concerned about the busy road, saying this is not the first time a crash has hit close to their homes.
All I hear is a big boom. So I look outside, I see 2 cars destroyed.
Glass, debris, and 2 mangled cars sprawled out across Hamishaw Boulevard. Video from Sky 10 shows moments after the crash.
It was a person stuck in the car. I stayed out here until they put the person out.
The wreck happened just after 9:30 Monday morning. According to CHP, a woman driving this Nissan Altima was heading east on Hamishaw Boulevard near Kempton Street. The car veered into the westbound lanes, hitting the SUV with 2 adults inside. CHP says the woman had a 5-year-old child in the car with her.
It was going so fast, so I couldn't even think. I was just, hoping she was okay.
The crash happened just feet from 16-year-old Kyle Fisher's home. He says this isn't the first time he's seen a crash in the area. Just last month, his brother's car was totaled in this exact spot.
So many crashes over here, it's been crazy. You have someone check down here once in a while because they don't follow the rules down here. They don't follow the speed limit.
CHP says the investigation is still ongoing. There's no word yet if speeding was a factor in the crash. The driver of the Nissan suffered major injuries. All 3 adults were taken to the hospital. The young child was taken to Rady Children's Hospital with some injuries, but is expected to be okay. Nate Holmes, ABC 10 News.